Hi, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching and for subscribing. And if you're just visiting, please consider subscribing. So today is a very exciting video. It's a return of your favorite series, which is Fragrance Twins. You know, when I did part 3, I really felt like, yeah, this is probably the last part. I don't think I have any more Fragrance Twins. And then when I explored my collection further, especially after a few newer scents arrived, I realized, yeah, we can definitely do part 4. So that's what I'm doing today. And if this is your first time watching this series, this is where I take 2 or more fragrances that have a similar scent profile. I compare them and contrast them, tell you what the similarities are, what the differences are. And if I had to choose one, this is the one that I would choose. So I hope you enjoy this part 4. Let's start. And let's start with a very classic comparison. That is Parfums de Marly de Lina and Atomic Rose from Initio. Now, I probably won't be holding the bottles throughout this video. I will most likely be putting up pictures of these fragrances so you can see them, but these have been definitely compared a lot. And yes, these are, first of all, sister companies, Parfums de Marly and Initio. And yes, the fragrances are similar. Also, most likely, I'm not going to go kind of deep into the notes. I'm just going to tell you sort of what I pick out as differences and similarities in these fragrances. So, the original de Lina. If you watched me for any period of time, you know that I love it. It is definitely a rose-centric scent, of course. Then it has that sweet lychee and kind of tart rhubarb that is, you know, somewhat sharp for sure. That is the original de Lina. Now, Atomic Rose has very, very similar scent profile. I don't know all the notes. I mean, obviously rose is there, but it doesn't have that sort of sharpness that de Lina has. There is definitely no rhubarb that stands out. Again, I don't know if the actual note is there or not. It is kind of softer and smoother. To me, Atomic Rose is kind of in between original de Lina and de Lina Exclusive. Like it's somewhere in the middle. So, you know, de Lina is kind of sharper, brighter. It has that tart nuance. Atomic Rose is softer and rounder. And maybe a touch sweeter as well. Overall, scent profile is similar for sure. Now, if I had to choose one, which one would I choose? In some cases, it's very difficult to choose. Now, here's how I will make a choice here. For me, personally, I would choose de Lina. There's something special about it. I've loved it from the first time I tried it, and my love hasn't diminished since then. However, if I had to recommend a scent to someone, let's say if someone was asking me, you know, I'm looking for the scent profile, what do you recommend? I would actually recommend Atomic Rose because I think it is more mass appealing. It is a softer scent. It is a more rounded scent. It doesn't have that kind of strong rhubarb note that bothers some people. So yeah, if I had to recommend to someone else, my recommendation would be Atomic Rose. Now, let's have the next pair, and we're going to involve Parfums de Marly fragrance again, and that is Melior. And I'm going to compare Melior to a fragrance that it gets compared to quite often, which I don't have at the moment, but I did have it at some point, so I know very well how it smells, and that is Amethyst from Lilique. Now, Both of these fragrances are these kind of sweet, slightly musky, fruity scents. There is a note of blackcurrant and Meliora in Amethyst. There is a blackcurrant, but I think it has other berries as well. So overall scent profile is really the same. Like, I would describe them in the same way, you know, musky, sweet, fruity scents. However, the way that they smell is quite different. And here, I think the biggest difference for me, and you know, for all of you who love Amethyst, please forgive me, but I'm sharing my opinion. But to me, the biggest difference is in the quality. Honestly, it's not so much in a scent profile, because for me, Amethyst smells very sharp and slightly synthetic. Whereas with Meliora, it's quite the opposite. It's a beautifully blended scent. It's soft and it's rounded and it's well blended and it's well balanced, and it's a much higher quality scent. And I'm not saying it because it's a much more expensive fragrance, which of course it is, but I can definitely tell a difference. Like, to me, Amethyst is sharp and slightly synthetic. So I think the choice here is absolutely obvious. For me, it's hands down. If you're looking for that scent profile, you gotta go with Meliora. I would not recommend Amethyst. Yes, I understand that this fragrance is much more expensive, and if it's not in your budget, then, you know, it's not, then maybe Amethyst or maybe something else. I don't know. But my recommendation would be Meliora from Parfums de Marly, without any doubt. Okay, next comparison is going to involve a new to me fragrance, which I don't even know if I've shared in a haul yet, probably not. And I've hesitated in getting this fragrance for a while, quite some time, because I knew that it was similar to another fragrance that I already have. But I've succumbed to the temptation, and I still decided to get it, even though it is similar. So what are we talking about here? Well, the fragrance that I've had for a long time is One Umbrella for Two from Florico. And the fragrance that I recently got that is very similar to it is Deep in Desire Yacht from EBK. Both of these fragrances, again, I don't remember the notes, but both of these fragrances smell basically like a blueberry muffin. You know, I know for Florico, there is like a note of tea, there is black currant and I don't know, vanilla or something else. For EBK, I have no idea what the notes are. I don't remember them. Doesn't matter. It's not about the notes, it's about how the fragrances smell, you know? And I thought, well, these are blueberry muffins. Do I need both of them? I mean, they're going to smell very similar. And even though they do have a similar scent profile, you know, when you put them side by side, you definitely notice differences and you kind of start perceiving the fragrances in a slightly different way. So, like I said, I've had One Umbrella for Two for a long time, and I always thought it was this sweet blueberry muffin, which it is. But when I compare it to Deep in Desire, this doesn't seem quite as sweet anymore. It definitely, in comparison, it loses its sweetness. Like, it's not as sweet. Deep in Desire is definitely sweeter. It is more gourmand. Like, it is more delicious, sort of. Like, it's a slightly better tasting blueberry muffin, if that makes any sense. What I also start to notice is that One Umbrella for Two, all of a sudden, when I compare them side by side, becomes a little bit woody, which I've never noticed when I wore it on its own. But when I compare it, start picking up this woody element in it, which I never picked up before. So these are kind of the differences. Obviously, let's be honest here, these differences are subtle. These fragrances have very similar scent profile. Do you need both? For a normal person, no, you definitely don't need both. But there are subtle nuances that are different in them. Now, I think that both are beautiful, beautiful scents. I love them. I enjoy them. I don't regret getting Deep in Desire because I think it is stunning. It is stunning. Now, if we had to choose one, which one would I go with? I think I would choose Deep in Desire because it is just a little bit more gourmand. It is just a little bit deeper. Like it smells like a blueberry muffin, but at the same time, it has a little bit more depth, a little more complexity to this scent. I just feel this depth in it, which I don't really get in one umbrella for two. So if I had to recommend one, I recommend this one. And I really, really hope that someday soon EPK will have an online store. I just think so many more people would buy from them if they didn't have to go through the hassle of contacting them on Instagram. Anyways, that's just my opinion. But yeah, out of the two, I would recommend this one. Okay, let's go to the next pair. And it involves my absolute favorite citrus scent. That is Aqua Celestia Forte from Maison Francis Kurkdjian. Now, recently, I sampled a new, well, relatively new Xerjoff fragrance, Torino 21. It came out probably a couple of years ago. And I kind of have always dismissed this fragrance because, I don't know, because based on the notes, I thought it was more masculine. I didn't really hear any women talking about it. Mostly it was men reviewing it. So I sort of dismissed it. And I was ordering something from somewhere and I could get some free samples. So I've requested Torino 21 as a sample to try just because, you know, I'm a huge fan of the House of Xerjoff. So I thought, okay, I want to try it. And I was so surprised how much I liked it. I tried it and I thought, whoa, what a beautiful citrus scent. I don't think it's masculine at all. And at the same time, as I'm trying it, I'm thinking, whoa, this reminds me of something. I know this scent profile. I recognize it, and then it clicked. It is so similar to Aqua Celestia Forte. And then I went on Fragrantica to look at the notes, whatever, and I saw there that I'm not the only one who picks up the similarity. There are other people who compare these two fragrances. So that's why I'm including them here, because I do think they're very, very similar. Now, both of them are these really fresh, citrusy scents that don't really, like, citruses in them almost don't have any sweetness at all. They're just very fresh, like almost with a touch of like coldness. And that is because both scents have mint in them. I believe both have it. I know Aqua Celestia Forte has it for sure. And I believe Torino 21 has it as well. And it brings that element of this, I don't know, coldness, coolness, what should we call it? Like, it's really refreshing on a hot day. And I just think these two scents are so, so beautiful. In my opinion, neither one is masculine. These scents are completely unisex, but I can see how for some, these will be a little bit too much on the masculine side. So what are the differences? And again, the differences are quite subtle. This one of my favorite things about this scent is that it never becomes soapy at all. You know, just as it is fresh in the opening, it is similarly fresh and bright in the dry down. Like it just maintains that freshness and brightness throughout the whole life of this fragrance. The small difference with Torino 21 is that kind of in a deep dry down, it started losing a little bit of its freshness and started becoming just a touch soapy and maybe a little bit more cologne-like, just very lightly, but it did kind of acquire that kind of quality in a very deep dry down. That's probably, in my opinion, the biggest difference between the two, but I really like both of them. Again, do you need both? Probably not. But both of them are beautiful, you know. It's a bit of a toss-up between the two, really, which one you would prefer. But if you asked me, I think that nothing really beats Aqua Celestia Forte. That is still the one I would go with, because it never becomes soapy in any way. And I don't like soapy. I don't do soapy. That's why I don't like a lot of musky scents, like really heavy in musk, because they become very soapy on my skin. So that's why I'm going with this one. But Torino 21 is also a beautiful scent that I'm kind of considering maybe eventually adding to my collection as well. We will see. But for now, my choice is MFK fragrance. Let's go to these two, which based on the notes you would think were very similar, but in reality are quite different. That is La Capitale from Xerjoff and Venom Incarnate from Stefan Umber Lucas. Now, both of these are fragrances that have fruity berry notes in them combined with leather. The Stefan Umber Lucas one has, I think, strawberries, wild strawberries. I mean, there are a lot of other notes, but there's definitely a note of leather in there. And La Capitale also has some fruity notes. There is strawberry, perhaps other fruits or berries, and there is a note of leather, in addition to others, of course, but I'm talking about the notes that kind of stand out. So, you know, based on the notes, these should be almost identical, but in this case, the difference is not in nuances. The difference is quite obvious. To me, these two fragrances are quite different. So if you are kind of considering which one should I get, well, it depends on what you're looking for, because here the difference is significant and here it's completely justifiable, in my opinion, to have both. So let's start with La Capitale. That's the one that I've had for much longer. This is a heavy, deep scent. It's not light. Now, even though there is a note of leather, to me, I don't get leather. I actually get oud in it. Nice kind of oud, but I pick up oud instead of leather. Strawberry is definitely prominent. There is a note of caramel. I think I forgot to mention that, which does the Venom Incarnate has as well? Perhaps. But I know La Capitale has caramel as well. And you have that strawberry drizzled with caramel and supported by this note of oud. It is sort of a potent scent. It is dense. The scent is very dense. It is not light. And the note of caramel is quite prominent. So it is quite sweet. On the other hand, Venom Incarnate is very light. The scent is very airy, in my opinion. Like, when I say light, I don't mean that it's bad performing scent. No, both are really great performance. But in its nature, it's a light, airy scent. Like, it has a lot of breath to it. It has a lot of air to it. It's strawberry, but to me, it's really wild strawberry that I pick up, which, you know, is quite, not quite, but it's different from strawberry. That is just because I'm very familiar with wild strawberries from my childhood. I think maybe for some you won't be able to tell the difference between the two, but I get more of wild strawberries than regular strawberries. And the note of caramel, like the level of sweetness is not as heavy. Like it's sweet. Both scents are sweet, but again, Venom Incarnate is not as sweet. And here I do pick up leather. Leather is definitely there, but it's this gorgeous, smooth, very expensive type of leather. Beautiful. I mean, I love, love, love both scents. I think they're both beautiful. There's a place for both of them in my collection. So which one would I recommend? Well, in this case, it will completely depend on what you're looking for, because these two are very different. If you're looking for kind of a stronger, denser, more powerful, more deep, more smoky type of scent, that's La Capitale from Xerjoff. If you're looking for an airier, sort of brighter type of scent, that's Venom Incarnate. So the choice here will depend on what you're looking for. Okay, let's do one more comparison to make sure that this video doesn't get too long. And I had to compare these two because, I mean, when you look at the bottles and, you know, that's what people have been saying originally when these two fragrances came out, that they're dupes. I mean, you think somebody was trying to dupe Angel's Share? I mean, clearly that's what they attempted to do. So this is Angel's Share from Kilian, and this is Camera from Lattafa. So, you know, when Camera first came on the scene, let's say, everyone was saying it's a dupe for Angel's Share. You know, my opinion about dupes, I'm not going to go into that here, but I paid no attention to it because it was a dupe. And then people started saying, well, but it looks like a dupe, but it's not really a dupe. And that's when, you know, it piqued my curiosity. Obviously, Lattafa, very inexpensive, very affordable. I decided to get it. And I'm really, really happy that I did, because the scent is beautiful. And it's a completely standalone scent, in my opinion. It is very, very different from Angel's Share. Really, it is. So Angel's Share, I mean, I'm not going to spend too much time here. We all know about it. Cognac, oak, cinnamon, delicious. I mean, absolutely delicious. Boozy, sweet, amazing, amazing. Now, this one, well, if you look at the overall description, it's kind of similar to that, you know. It's a little bit woody, it is sweet, it is just a touch boozy. The booziness level is definitely much lower in this one, in my opinion. And it has this fruity element. I think fruity element is quite strong in here. I don't know what kind of fruits are in here. Is it apple or is it something else? I have no idea, but I really get this fruity element. It's sweet. It's very, it has some kind of, I don't know, like soft quality to it. Not that the scent is soft, but like the texture of this scent is very soft. Like if Angel's Share, okay, you're gonna think I'm completely crazy, but if Angel's Share has this liquid quality, because it really smells like cognac, like it's a boozy scent, then this one has kind of that soft, fruity texture to it. Okay, really, don't think that I've lost my mind. But that's kind of how I would describe the difference between the two. So it's sweet, it's a little bit spicy, although the spiciness here, I would not attribute purely to cinnamon. Like in Angel's Share, it's cinnamon that's included, but here, I don't know, it just has a little bit of spiciness to it. And it is just very slightly boozy, not as much as Angel's Share at all. And so even though if I had to describe them in a few words, I would use very similar descriptions, But when you go sort of dive deeper into these scents, I think they're different. I think they're very, very different. I mean, do they have a few similarities here and there? Yes. But overall, I think they are different. They're standalone scents. And I don't think that Camera is a dupe for Angel's Share. It is not. It is just not. So finally, we got to choose one, right? Well, here, even though I think Camera is a beautiful scent, it's a standalone scent, it's an affordable scent, and it's a great one to get, honestly. But if I was making the choice and if I had to recommend one for you, yeah, I'm still going with Angel's Share. I don't think anything beats this scent. This is a very special scent. And yeah, if you could get one, I would say go for this one. So there you go. These are our fragrance twins for today. Believe it or not, I had one more comparison planned for today, but the video is getting too long, so I'm going to save it. And maybe in a few months, we're going to do part 5. Who knows? Maybe there will be more fragrance twins to talk about. Anyways, please let me know if you're still enjoying this series, if you would like to see part 5. And share with me if you have any fragrance twins in your collection. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please remember to give me a thumbs up, to subscribe, and to comment. And I will see you soon in the next one. Bye.